Greetings, Earthlings. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm feeling much better. I had to take last week off because I had this stupid little head cold, and when anything goes on with my sinuses or allergies or my head or my eyes, it's like impossible to do psychic work. So I want to thank everyone who left kind comments on my community post. I am feeling so much better. For those of you who are new, I'm Zac. I'm a clairvoyant psychic, and I share my gift to bring out the best in yours. In today's video, I wanted to take a look at the energy surrounding the present moment, which, we just had a Libra full moon, which is all about balance, and just celebrated the autumnal equinox, so it feels like it's a good time to take a look at what we might want to prune or stop, plant or grow, and propagate or keep. In this video, there are 4 piles to choose between, but before you do, make sure you make an effort to ground your energy, because when you ground your energy, it gives us the best chance to link up in time and space so that I can pull forward the most useful information. So light a couple candles, maybe turn the lights down low, take a couple deep breaths. That might look a little different for everyone, but once your energy is grounded, choose between the piles intuitively, and I will meet you at your reading. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. I hope you guys are doing so very well today. Very excited to do this video. Love the prompts we have today, and I want to start with what we want to prune away, what we want to get rid of, what we want to stop, what needs to not be here anymore in order for you guys to live, the most abundant life, in order for you guys to be the most self-aware. So what I see, honestly, it's actually a blessing. So this coyote card can actually be a little scary, right? It's definitely one of the least favorable cards in this animal medicine deck, yet you have this in the position of stop or let go of. And what I'm sensing is that we need to have a little bit more faith in ourselves. This could have to do with bringing in love, bringing in romance, bringing in more money, pursuing a career, going on a trip, cutting a tie. Whatever this has to do with, it'll be a little bit different for everyone since this is a general reading, but I sense that we need to have a little bit more faith and trust in ourselves. I sense that you guys trust yourself to do this and then you don't. And you trust yourself and then you don't. And I'm hearing that the voice of your inner saboteur really needs to be stopped. Very much needs to be pruned, right? We want to cut that away because for some reason I feel like there's just this energy where you guys have a little bit forgotten your light, forgotten your incredible uniqueness, forgotten that your uniqueness and authenticity is what you're supposed to be, is what the planet needs most at this time, is every individual to be and express themselves in every single facet of desire to the most authentic aspect of that desire. This means wearing clothes how you want to wear clothes. Maybe some of you don't want to wear clothes. This is designing a hairstyle or a color for your hair or your home, your environment. Something to do with like being very authentic to you, okay, is what we kind of, if I were to look through this message of Prune, once we cut away the inner saboteur, what needs to step out is kind of this authentic voice, right? There's definitely something you're trying to go after, Pile 1, but the only thing stopping you is you. You know, you definitely sense your potential. You definitely sense that this desire is authentic to you. That's why you really want to go towards it. But there's something that's been stopping you, something that's holding you back. And we really want to cut this away. And I really feel like this is the voice of your inner saboteur. It's you coming up with all the ways this couldn't work. And that is just not helpful. Right? I want you guys to swoop out a little bit, take an eagle-eye view from that perspective. If you just come up with all the ways this won't work, that's actually not helping you achieve this goal. It's actually not helping you find the ways that it could work. It's only giving you options it's surrounding you with this energy of negation, right? It's only giving you negative information, negative emotions, and it surrounds you with this energy of pessimism. Or thinking that it's just too good to be true. It's too big of a dream or a goal. And I want you guys to break this down into bite-sized pieces, to take little steps in the direction. Baby steps count. They're very cumulative. Sometimes I feel like we identify a path or a map or a person we want to be with or something we want to do with our body or mind or to experience. And sometimes it is so far away that we convince ourselves that it's impossible to get there. There's just simply going to be too many pitfalls, too much to figure out. And it's like trying not to eat an entire apple pie all at once, right? You're never going to fit an apple pie in your mouth. You have to take it in slices, and then you have to take that slice in bites, unless you guys are like professional eaters. What is that? I don't know. Anyways, what I'm sensing is that this needs to be taken in bites, right? And I feel like that is the very best medicine to sort of start to quiet the inner saboteur. We definitely need to prune away that voice that just comes up, that negative Nancy, that Debbie Downer, that idea that coming up with, all the ways this could go wrong, it doesn't give you enough time, space, or energy to come up with the ways that it could go right. And instead, if you fuel this passion or this desire of yours with an energy that is more positive, more optimistic, you're going to find solutions, right? We just kind of have to get you guys in motion. And I think one really good way to get you in motion is to recognize that looking, definitely keep your eye on the prize, but don't look at that distance in between because it can be totally discouraging, right? For some of you, this is about the body, a fitness journey. I'm seeing like that ideal self that you picture yourself in the mirror as. The gym, that is very much cumulative. You cannot walk into a gym and walk out like, with a lot more muscle or a lot less body fat or your ideal shape and size, whatever that looks like to you. What I'm sensing is that you have to go to that gym just like that apple pie every day. Just take a bite. Just go in there, put in the work, sweat a little bit, and then cumulatively your body is going to change over time. For some of you, this has nothing to do with your body. It has everything to do with perhaps your appearance. And it feels like just pick one thing. Pick your eyelashes. Go out and get an eyelash curler or get your eyelashes curled or focus just on your eye. What kind of makeup can you do to accentuate your eye shape, to make them bigger or smaller? Instead of trying to change your entire makeup routine or your entire hairstyle or your entire wardrobe or style in general. I'm getting that we're making this too confusing for ourselves. We're making it a much bigger deal than it needs to be at the present time, because for you to teleport from A to B, that final destination, perhaps you're not prepared to be there yet. And so that entire journey is actually filled with so many lessons to help you along the way so that when you finally reach that destination, you're actually ready. And it's a lot more advantageous to be in that position after you've taken all that time to go across this journey, to take all these little steps. You learn a zillion lessons along the way. What we definitely need to prune away is kind of this inner saboteur, right? That's what I'm getting from the coyote. Let's just add a little bit of earth magic to this. I also love the number 13. You guys might love the number 13 as well. For some of you, the idea of stability is holding you back. So 1 and 3 is 4. 4 to me talks about foundation, structure, and stability. 1 is the desire for 3, creative, creativity. For some reason, I'm seeing it as change, though. The desire for, to change your appearance for some of you, to change your job. Okay, so can I please have a card? This is kind of what we need to prune away. The fog, yes. It's veiled, confusion, the mind. We want you guys to be kind of like dynamite in the mind. Dynamite in the sense that you recognize your power and potential, right? Dynamite is incredibly explosive as well. So it feels like we kind of want to literally, it's a little bit gruesome, but we're kind of in the month of October almost. So we want to like literally blow up the inner saboteur. We want to get rid of that voice inside you that holds you back from ever going after the things that you truly desire to experience. Some of you, I'm actually hearing that there's perhaps too many things that we want to change. And so just pick one, because it's kind of, based on what I've learned over time through self-awareness and just trying to like change my experience new things, experience what I want to experience, satisfy my desires. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. Overwhelming once you recognize that you actually have the ability to do this. So I'm sensing that you guys have had success recently, or very well soon will have success in changing or manifesting something, and that's going to really inspire you. But then it's almost like I see you kind of in the Seven of Cups energy, where there's just too many choices. It becomes like almost too much, and it gets confusing, and you lose yourself a little bit in a smoke screen, kind of like this. And what I feel like is to identify that one, just that one that we keep talking about. We definitely want to prune away confusion. And confusion often arises when there's simply been too much time spent making a decision, stalling. Because you know what it does? It floods your mind with all the pros and cons, yet what is kind of what we kind of as people hold on to are those cons, are those negative things, because self-preservation is definitely an evolutionary trait of ours. But sometimes we hold on to those negative ideas, all that could go wrong, and we accumulate those instead of all the ways that it could go right. And all of those accumulating are kind of dulling your shine. All right, the coyote definitely talks about someone who's lost perspective of how magnificent they are. Each and every single person is magnificent. Each and every single one of us is a spark of consciousness. And so I feel like we want to get rid of the confusion so this sunlight can come out, so you can shine again. We definitely needed to prune away anything that is self-doubt. The best thing that keeps coming back up, and Spirit is showing me, to identify perhaps just an action plan, right? Just a plan of action, and pick one thing. And just sort of figure out, just talk out loud without giving yourself any judgment, how you might go about that, right? For some reason, and this is such a lame example, but I'm just going to work with it. You want to make muffins, okay, but it's like that you want to be a better baker. And so it's literally not that you need to become an instant success overnight. Pick one thing, all right? Go out there and make pumpkin spice muffins. So what do you need to do first? Well, you need to first pick pumpkin spice muffins, but then you need to make a grocery list. And then you have that list, and then you can make a plan to go to the store or to budget the money that it takes to make pumpkin spice muffins. And then you need to plan when you're going to go, and you need to go and purchase all of them. You see how you want to just, over time, you're going to make that first batch of pumpkin spice muffins. They're going to be good, or, could stand to be improved. And you're going to improve upon them. And eventually you're going to have pumpkin spice muffins in your arsenal, in your repertoire. And you're not going to have to think twice about how to make them. And then you're going to go and say, I want to make a creme brulee, or something a little bit more complicated. And eventually that's going to be added to your arsenal. And over time you become an experienced baker. It is not that you instantly say, like, I'm going to be an experienced baker and I need to go all the way out there into culinary school in order to do this. I'm sensing that you have a lot more ability to be able to experience or manifest this relationship, this job change, whatever this seems to be about for each one of you. It could be something totally different than what I've mentioned. You have a lot more at your disposal right now. It has everything to do with your perception, though. And we want to lift the fog, right? We want to prune this. This is all about getting rid of this energy, right? Letting go of this in order to have, it feels like abundance, right? In order to have a lot more self-awareness. And it feels like this Eight of Cups under the deck is significant too. So we're going to leave him there. And I saw the Emperor. Oh my god. This is the minor arcana version of this major arcana, the Emperor. This is what we want to grow. So to me, this really talks about your career and your finances. Where we want to put a lot of attention right now is building your bread. But it's also a real big message about, what is this called? Legacy, right? There's something that we want you to leave behind in this lifetime. There's something that you're meant to do. I think it's creative, okay? I think that it will, though, require you to leave something behind that was very passionate, right? The red to me is the color of libido and passion. And it's very interesting because it feels like this emperor right here and this figure right here are kind of, similar. There's something about them that it feels like this has to do with you. And this is what we're growing. Confidence. We're growing our confidence, right? Because that coyote, what we needed to leave behind, prune this. This kind of is a false sense. Not even a false sense of confidence, actually. It is literally a muddied view of yourself, viewing yourself as less than perfect. I feel like pile 1 could recognize, or this would be super useful to you guys, recognize that anything you've done in the past, anything you've tried to achieve in the past, yet hasn't succeeded, I wonder if you've just stopped trying, right? But also let go of the need to be perfect. Right? Because being a perfectionist, it kind of gives you a narrow channel to perform in, and it also puts blinders on. So you're walking down this narrow channel with blinders on, trying to find a new path or trying to find creative expression. And the only thing you can see is the steps right in front of you, right? And it feels like there's so much more life in the periphery. Yeah, my throat just closed, which means that is such an important message for pile 1. Did I say pile 2 earlier? I'm sorry. This is literally the first pile, so I should not be saying pile 2 already. So pile 1, growing ourselves. This is the energy that would be very supported at this time. We're moving towards a full moon. We've just reached the autumnal equinox. Right now, we want to grow abundance. We also want to grow self-confidence. Anything that has to do with business right now, anything that has to do with putting yourself on center stage, allowing your talents to unfold, that is going to be supported right now. Energetically, we're moving towards bringing in a lot of abundance. This is an abundance of health for some of you. You really are experiencing these fitness goals of yours, these financial goals of yours. You're going to have a lot more money saved up, and you're going to be able to expand your territory. I'm getting the idea of travel for some of you. I'm getting the idea of being able to establish roots finally, to put down roots. For some of you, this could perhaps be relocating in order to be able to just put down money on a house is what I just heard. Some of you are visiting family, and visiting family right now would be something that you could grow. The relationships between your family, especially the patriarchs, okay, matriarch or patriarchs in the family. But right now, the energy that is supported, what we want to grow is the energy of action, right? I think you guys were sitting in a fog of confusion for way too long. Let's get that fog card, right? This to me talks about inaction. It to me talks about confusion, because we haven't been able to make a decision. We haven't been able to get to the bottom of it. But I see you guys being very supported by any action you take, especially bold action. I'm hearing a bold plan. There's a message about a bold plan of action. And it feels like, again, that conversation where just, sit down. I like to in front of a mirror just because it's useful. Some people don't like to, that's okay. I'm seeing you guys sit down or, just when you're driving to work or school or to the gym or the grocery store, and you've identified that thing that we seem to be touching on. And you just, very quickly try to do it in a minute and try to make it clunky, right? Make it bold. Make a plan about how you're going to get there, but do not make any room for second guessing yourself or financial considerations or timing, anything like that. Just be very blunt with it or brusque or clunky with it. in order to be able to illustrate to your mind that it's possible is how it's coming through. I see this is an important message, you guys. Your guides are like my guides are showing it very, very clearly, where you just talk out loud how to get from A to B and do not consider any factors that might stop you or that you feel like you really should consider. We got to get rid of the word should and the word how. We just want to illustrate, going from A to B. That's an important message. Because it's action. The masculine energy is really much highlighted in your reading. So the action of doing. We want to grow action. We want to make moves. Anything to do with your career. You're experiencing abundance in the career sector. Something to do with the home and the family. Expanding your territories. This is the energy of, having the confidence to get a new car, to change your lease agreement, to go abroad, to take a trip, to start a business. We're approaching, again, a full moon. So if you guys are working with manifestation, I think that's really supported. Any action you take right now and can take is going to be what we want to grow in your life right now, in this current cycle. Even this card right here, where you're leaving something, is making room to grow something, right? You're definitely leaving behind something passionate. It could be an emotion, right? I feel like some of you guys have been a little bit too much relying on pessimism or self-preservation in order to get you where you want to be in life or to prevent disaster. We want to get out of the disaster mindset, right? We want to get rid of kind of this reliance on self-preservation and kind of allow yourself to expand a bit. We're definitely leaving behind something passionate as well, though. The cups, to me, it could be a dream, a longing, a belief. It could be relationship related too. But what I'm getting is it's more of like the relationship to the self, right? You are recognizing your star potential, pile one. You're recognizing that you can achieve anything just as long as you can maybe identify one thing at a time. If you can identify one thing, then you can make an action plan. And if you have a plan, you are bound and determined as well. You're going to achieve that desire, experience, person, any of these things. This is what we're growing. Definitely action, definitely career, definitely finances, and a lot of financial abundance is what I'm picking up on too. So now let's move to this kind of third lens. We're going to look at what we want to propagate. Okay, so grow more of or keep. So just give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to clear these cards and tune into that energy for you guys. Okay, pile one. So I was shuffling the tarot to try to get a pull on what we want to keep or propagate, have more of, just keep it. And what the 10 of Cups popped out, and it feels really significant for some reason, and I'm picking up on more of the energy of the open arms, and actually the Fool was under the deck too, and I'm not necessarily picking up on the energy of the Fool. This is more like his open arms as well. Now, what I'm sensing is that there is actually a considerable amount of harmony in your life right now. So when I, see words that repeat, I think that's kind of synchronistic, and I think that's an important message. We have harmonizes right here and harmonious right here. But I also pick that up with the 10 of Cups. I always think of this as a scale in the sky and the cups as notes, and these people are singing and dancing kind of in harmony, right? So it feels like what we want to keep is this harmony. You guys have a really good balance in your life right now. I think you've really done a lot of work to achieve a balance between the time you put into yourself, relationships with your friends, family, romantically. I'm also getting your relationship to outside. You have a really good understanding of what it means to be in flow with your life, as well as what it means to be in flow with the energy that you're getting day to day. I'm sensing that you're recognizing when energetically a project or an endeavor is not supported. And in the past, you used to push through that with that kind of Emperor energy, that kind of Aries fire starter energy. And most times you were successful, but I feel like you would get burned out from time to time. You've really listened to that lesson about burnout and sensing that things don't have to happen instantaneously. Yeah, that message keeps coming in for pile 1. Things do not need to materialize instantaneously for you to be making great achievement in your life, right? Try not to look at the physical as a reflection of your actual progress and success. So what I just saw was sometimes I'll be driving to the gym, driving to the grocery store, and I just feel like in really good energy, and this smile spreads across my face. This is what I'm sensing you guys are in right now. Maybe even some of you are experiencing 4D, 5D consciousness. But I was driving to the gym, I had this big old smile on my face, and for some reason I looked in my rearview mirror at myself, and I looked at my smile, and I was like, really? I feel really happy inside. And that smile was just it felt so little, but it literally, to me, outside of the reflection, it felt like I was really happy and had a big smile on my face. So the outer reflection was not representative of how I felt inside and that harmony that I felt. So it feels like that's a really important energetic message for pile 1, that the outside reflection is not as powerful as the feeling within. And that kind of, is what these cards to me talk about as well. The Ten of Cups talks about, to me, domestic bliss, where it's not like you've won the lottery, you've won, something incredible, it's like a grand celebration. No. It's more of things are really in balance, and we want to keep this, right? If this is relationships that are very balanced right now, you're able to juggle kind of family, love, and friends. We want to propagate that, right? We want to grow that. So where can that harmony also be found in your life when it comes to perhaps your work, right? Maybe it's the relationship to work that we also want to bring into harmony. We definitely want to grow a balance between all the things that you're juggling. And that's why that message is so important, pile 1, about picking one thing, because it's adding to the plate. And I'm seeing scales. We got this Libra. We also just had the new moon in Libra, and it's a time of balancing. And so it feels like the thing that we want to grow more of is more balance. And so when you add one thing to the plate, it has to be balanced, whether that's, going to be time that you have to accommodate for, more money that you have to accommodate for, some other resource, perhaps it's mental resources as well that have to be accommodated for. We want to be able to have a little bit more balance in your life in all factors. So continue this, because this is where you are shining right now. This is where you have a lot to show for. There's a lot of harmony and balance between all the different aspects in your life. And I'm feeling like as well, because you guys did have, the 10 of Pentacles and the Emperor, we now have the 10 of Cups. To me, this talks about, it feels like a gift. It feels like you're in harmony with the vibration that you desire, which makes it very attractive. It makes what you desire want you as well. Let's kind of just get a little bit more of a read here. For some reason, I want to take just one last card. This is going to be for pile 1, please. This kind of parting message about what we want to keep. Because things feel really good. Let's just reach in. The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Do you see how there's, again, this emphasis of the arms being really wide open? Oh my gosh, shut up. That's so synchronistic. And I put it right over the trine card. The triangle. That is so amazing, you guys. A big base of support as well. And to me, it's like you're drawing down energy from the universe. And I think that you're actually really skilled at this. And I think that coyote, that inner saboteur that we saw in the very beginning of your reason, it's actually a product of this 3D world. I sense that you guys are evolved or old souls, or have a good grasp of consciousness and what it means to be alive on Earth at this time during this incarnation. And sometimes the 3D, it can be really clunky, right? It can really get us down. There could be imposed self-limiting beliefs that your parents put upon you because their parents put it upon them, and so on, etc. And that is reflected in the world around us, so it kind of keeps us trapped a little bit. So don't let anything in the past, don't let any self-limiting beliefs hold you back. And definitely kind of uplift this energy of balance wherever this is applying to in your life, because it's really bringing up your vibration as well. And what I'm also picking up on is that you guys might want to study astrology, especially how the moon and the sun affect you energetically, is how this is coming through. We want to grow this trine. Okay, let's read these real quick for you guys. Harmonizes, aids, enriches, benefits, energizes, enjoys, eases, lubricates, gifts, rhymes, supports, indulges. You're in a period of your life that definitely feels prosperous and harmonious, and we want to continue to grow this. I'm hearing that some of you, that coyote, you feel like you're not worthy of the success that you're celebrating right now. Or this, things feel so good, so balanced that you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Don't get caught waiting for the other shoe to drop. Don't be in that energy of expecting the worst, right? That's that first message that was coming through. Because you guys have worked hard to get here. It's okay to be abundant if there are other people in the world who are not. It's okay to experience a little bit of luxury and to treat yourself. We want you guys to continue to treat yourself because it tells your body that you love yourself, right? So these are all the messages that I'm getting for pile 1, and I really hope you enjoyed your reading. And I want to thank you so much for being here, spending your time with me. And if you liked this video, or if you've made it this far into the video, you can give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much. It helps my channel grow. It also helps other people who need to receive these messages find this video. And no matter where you are in the world, day or night, until next time, stay divine. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. I hope you guys are doing so well today. So let's first focus on what we want to prune, what we want to stop, what we want to get rid of. Okay, so the energy of the prairie dog, has everything to do with the tunneling, right? So prairie dogs hibernate, and what I feel like, if I could swoop out from an eagle-eyes view, your guides want you to leave hermit mode behind. I think you guys have been charging your batteries, and the fact that you recognize the need to do that, to replenish your well, it's super useful, and it's very good for so many reasons. For one, it talks about a level of self-awareness, but also faith. The ability to pull away from time to time without feeling like you're going to get behind, or you need to catch up, or you're going to miss something. The fact that you guys have that level of security within yourself is a very good thing. It's a divine thing. It's kind of like divine knowledge. What I'm seeing is the number 4 and 7. 4, structure, stability. 7, divinity. Kind of like sacred knowledge. And so it feels like you have this place of security, or this comfort, this knowing, this inner knowing, this intuition. And that's kind of like what you've developed thus far, or have been developing over the last bit of time. That timeline's going to shift for everyone. I don't like to be specific like days or months because it's a general reading, but what I can tell you guys is that the time for the hermit mode has, elapsed. This period of recharging your battery, we definitely want to leave that in the past. We want to remove that. Anything to do with inactivity. It's really interesting because I drew your card. Under the deck is actually the antelope, which is a card of action. Prairie dog says retreat and think. Antelope says take action. So we're going to go into the grow phase in a little bit. I just kind of want to flesh out this prairie dog message first. So I want to remind you that everything you've gained right now, the perspective you've gained from being in the hermit mode, from pulling back, resting, digesting something, this doesn't have to be an overarching energy, is what I just heard. Some of you haven't been in a full-blown deep dive. Some of you haven't been in a full-blown hermit mode, but this could have been a period of rumination situation regarding a relationship or a job offer or a move or a decision of some sort, you recognized the need to pull back in order to gain a perspective. Your battery has been charged. Your guides want to know that. You've definitely had enough time away. It's time to move out of the den right now. We don't want you to protect all of your light. So what I'm seeing is like literally emerge from the darkness holding your lantern. And that's all very metaphorical because the light, the lantern, it talks about truth, your inner truth. It's time to share that knowledge and that new perspective gained from the time you have spent in hermit mode, from the time you've been, in your tunnel, in your safe place, in your home. I'm hearing some of you guys just spend a little bit too much time in your home because it is a safe place to be. I'm hearing that some of you guys are extra sensitive. And what I want to tell you is I'm seeing you guys expand a little bit, branch out a little bit, and take baby steps, right? If some of you don't really like your environment outside of the home, try to work with yourself, right? Try to work with your guides in this message that's coming through. So perhaps search for a kind of store you would love to mill about. Maybe that is a new crystal shop or a new kind of aesthetic shop. There's all these shops recently that I'm seeing that have kind of like a focus on just like aesthetic in general. They have little kind of trinket gifts and, tarot card decks and candles. It's like a kind of a home goods store mixed with a cult store. I'm seeing you guys go to those kind of stores or find one in your area that you haven't been to. And the message underlying all of that, if that's not your cup of tea, is to find your cup of tea, to work with that, to give yourself a new experience. We definitely want you to open up a little bit and to come out of the tunnel, come out of the cave, come out of the womb, come out of the house a little bit more. We're spending too much time there, and it's just time to move forward. That period of recharge was super necessary. It's really good that you guys were able to recognize that you needed to do that time. You needed to pull away in order to gain a perspective. The battery's been recharged and we're ready to move out and onwards. I kind of want to get an earth magic card just to continue with this energy. Kind of like either let's build upon this message or just what else do we need to stop? The fog veiled. Curious. Okay. It feels like spending too much time in the tunnel is causing undue confusion. And under the deck, we have clouds with shape-shifting. I love to see this. I'm actually going to pull it out. I hope it's not too dark over there. Here, let's move these over. Okay. I love to see this. What it looks like is kind of where we are right now. Definitely want to stop this. But the sunlight is definitely peeking through. And you guys, I made that comment about that hermit, with his light. Light is truth. And I love to see this because you guys are reaching an epiphany or getting a lot of clarity. The reason why you pulled into the cave, whether that was you needed to make a decision or you needed to recharge the battery, that goal has been achieved, and it's time to shapeshift, right? Time to get out of the cave, time to get out of the house a little bit, time to move. There's definitely this idea of building energy, and I'm curious to see what we want to grow because you guys are definitely primed right now. Sometimes we can try to grow things when we're just, stuck in the rat race and we don't really have the energy to build that. But what you guys have at your disposal right now is a real advantage. You guys have rested, recuperated, you have strength, you have stamina built up. Developed a little bit of endurance, but also have developed a little bit of self-awareness, recognizing the need to pull away at times so that you don't risk injuring your health or, toppling everything that you're balancing in your life. I love to see the sunlight peeking through these clouds and then them completely lifting right here. I'm seeing these huge thunderheads, kind of uplifting, right? Kind of removing. And what is in the distance for both of these mountaintops? I've actually never focused on them before. Mountaintops represent strength. So there is a newfound level of strength that you have gained from being in hermit mode. from resting, from being rejuvenated. There is a certain amount of inner strength that you can rely upon. That's what's been revealed to you and what is going to soon be revealed to you. You have this new level. The top of the mountains, speaking of the Hermit card as well, talks about perspectives. And so you have reached a new perspective from pulling back. And that is so necessary because sometimes we're just in the flow of life so quickly that we can't recognize blessings when they come in. And as a result, you can feel like you're not being blessed or there's nothing to look forward to. There's little tiny celebrations that we don't want you to miss out on that are happening all around you. Okay, you guys, I'm literally laughing. We have the literal first card of the Major Arcana and the very last card. Definitely completing some major cycle. And in the energy of beginning anew, right? I asked what we're growing. It feels like infinity, infinite options. I hope it's not too dark. I just lost the clouds a little bit, or lost the sun a little bit. Oh, that's very synchronistic, okay? What I'm picking up on is kind of growing a spiritual journey because what I'm picking up on is these gray clouds right here. And this one cloud right here is white. I always feel like it's actually an error in my deck. And I love that because the eagle is my personal totem. It's also to me the message of spirit. And if I'm looking over here at this card, the sun is in the top hand corner as well. The sun to me talks about illumination. It also talks about truth, consciousness, health, vitality, and spirit. So I feel like there's a spiritual journey that we want to grow. And I love to see the fact that, if you were to walk out of a dark cave, it would feel like this. And these mountaintops in the distance here, we were just talking about that with what felt like a hermit mode. This is very opposite to the energy of the hermit. The hermit has this dark gray background, dark kind of slate green gray. And he's kind of closed off, kind of needs to recharge. You guys have recharged. This is just very synchronistic. I'm just giggling. I wanted to share that with you guys. It feels like a new beginning. You guys are going somewhere new. You have a lot of clarity. And spiritually, this effort, this direction, you're being guided. You're being divinely guided at this time in your life. So that fact that you listen to your intuition, recognize that you did not need to push forward, you were not going to fall behind, that was a spiritual test. You just aced it, is what I literally just heard. You just aced a significant spiritual test, and that spiritual test is going to look a little bit different for each of us. Just keep in mind this is a general reading, and we just want to underscore the fact that you were listening to yourself. Some major cycle of self-awareness has been completed, and we're just going to embark on the next one. That's kind of, just how life is. Periods of rest, periods of celebration, and it feels like you guys are in a period of celebration. Time to grow this new feeling that you've gained, right? How can we let that light just be infectious? I kind of want to see it come from just you in the cave and the lantern, just being kind of like a guiding light for you, and allow that to unfold and to reach other people is how this message is coming through. Allow the sunlight, your truth, your authenticity, the thing that you gained, the perspective that you gained, the spiritual messages that you've received from being in hermit mode. How can you bring that out and share that with everyone else? How can you share that experience that you had that was so shape-shifting, so life-affirming? I feel like you're being set down a path. It feels like a spiritual path. That's what I'm getting from these cards. I also want you to expand, right? This emphasis on the arms being open wide right here, expand. The Fool and this kind of nude figure here in the middle talks about letting go any ideas of the past, any kind of snake skins of your former selves. Let those go because you've and it's the energy of being reborn is how this is coming through. You definitely have this newness to you. And this freshness, this fresh perspective, this fresh start, this is yours to do with whatever you wish. This is a really powerful message for Pile 2. You have gained this freshness, this newness, and we want you to stay in this kind of really fresh, uplifted, up-leveled, high vibrational energy. You're very close to your spirit guides right now. Your spirit guides have been showing you signs, symbols, synchronicities, and these are just to show you that you're not alone. You have a big team on your side. I'm actually hearing that pile 2 has more than one spirit guide in this lifetime. I'm hearing that some of you have ancestors. Some of you just have so far to go and have a lot of expansion to experience in this life that you have a huge team helping you. You're not going to mess up. You have never missed out on what you're meant to experience in this life. If some of you are really sensing, where to go in the world, how to embark, what direction to take, that's probably why you went in that hermit mode. Recognize that you're not going to choose the wrong decision. You have a huge support team on your side. On the other side, across the veil, we had that fog card with veiled. It feels like they have been there guiding you this whole time. I love to see this. You stepping out of the cave, what does it bring? Here we have the sun that's very small, and the big picture is all this fog. Here we have nothing but illumination, nothing but yellow. We've completely removed ourselves from the confusion, from being in the energy of being stuck, from being recharged, and moving forward and having a lot of energy at our disposal. And so what we really want to make apparent to pile 2 is this new vibrational state. I'm hearing that some of you have went into the cave at 3D consciousness and are emerging at 4D consciousness. Some of you, it was 4D up into 5D. We want to hold this new vibration and to become acclimated to it so that you can continue to hold this higher vibration, this state of recharge, this freshness, this newness. We want that to be infectious. We want to hold on to it for as long as we can before we need to recharge again, or before, something else comes in to shift our energy or balancing, something like that. But we want to hold on to it for as long as we can because it's really uplifting for pile 2. Okay, so I kind of want to I was sensing like a spiritual direction, you guys. Take a break. LOL. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. And before I drew this card, I was like, I definitely need 2. So let's just take one more. Lemuria. Creating heaven on earth. It's happening. One more. Birthing a new age. Yup. Birthing new creations. Dreaming a new world into being. We have the world here. Birthing. This figure is nude. Newness. Freshness. The emphasis on this white aura around this individual too, with again the arms open wide. You guys were in this period over here, taking a break, right? Getting off the treadmill. That is a huge celebration and a confirmation that you guys chose the right pile. This is kind of a lot of synchronicity, and I love to see it. I just saw 1616 on the clock, so I'm hearing that 16 is one of your favorite numbers. Someone in here has a favorite number of 16. If that is you, write a comment down below. Hello, this reading is specifically for you. You were guided here, and that's that message that keeps coming through. You guys are really divinely guided at this time in your life. Okay, so what do we want to grow? It's literally heaven on earth, right? These two messages are very similar to me. And you guys are holding that new vibration, this higher vibration, this higher sense of consciousness. You guys have a higher sense. You guys are very divinely connected. I'm hearing that some of you just need to develop a little bit more of a language with your guides. Others of you recognize this. You know for sure that you guys are very divinely connected to source, to spirit, your guides, whatever you believe in. This message of holding that vibration is very powerful. It's very potent because you are creating a new vibration on earth by holding this vibration. So if you need to go into that cave, what feels like more than the average individual, recognize that you're holding a vibration that not everyone on this planet holds. And I'm hearing that it's a tiny, tiny fraction of individuals who are capable of holding this vibration, of having this newness, this beginner's mindset, this just uplifting kind of anything is possible understanding, not outlook, understanding that anything is possible. Do you see what I'm trying to illustrate here? It's a really fine line. It's very complex and it's very evolved. And I know that you guys are evolved souls. You're here to birth a new age. I was so curious to see what you guys were supposed to grow because it felt rather large. Do you know what you're growing? Heaven on earth. Birthing a new creation, birthing a new age, dreaming a new world into being. You are experiencing a new level of responsibility. You're growing and acclimating. I'm using acclimating and growing now to mean the same thing. You guys are acclimating to this vibration, but you're also holding this vibration so that the planet can acclimate to you. I know that the planet, in my mind, maybe this is some of you as well, we're definitely shifting. Something's shifting. I think it's a frequency, it's a vibration. We're moving from something dense into something much lighter, something much more evolved, something much more harmonious. And you guys are a light anchor is what I'm hearing. You guys are here to anchor the earth, but try not to get anchored yourself. Try not to get weighed down by too much of what goes on in the world. And so it's so necessary for you guys. Some of you feel guilty about taking breaks. Come on. Don't feel guilty, or allow yourself to change that opinion of yourself over time. Right? It's easy to say don't do that, and I don't like to say that either. So just allow yourself to be open and recognizing how different you feel from actually taking that break. We're growing a new vibration. This is complicated, you guys. This is going to look a little different for each one of us, but you can do things that support this vibration, such as keeping things in your life in harmony, in balance. Make sure you're eating well, sleeping well, taking in new books, new information, growing. These are the messages that are coming through. We want to grow heaven on earth. And I know that's a very spiritual message, but it feels like you guys are born fit for this task. Feels like that's what you guys are here to do. I think you could, develop a spiritual ability, right? That first message I got was, I think you guys are about to walk down a spiritual path. This is highly spiritual in nature. I think that there's definitely an ability of yours coming on board. For some of you, this is the ability to channel. Some of you are getting prophetic dreams. Some of you need to just create space to develop a language with your guides consistently. So I'm hearing to take breaks. If you don't want to or have the time to engage in a full-on hermit mode, take breaks more frequently. I'm also hearing to set up a routine where you meditate, because that could be in a reflection is a break, right? So what can you do if that's, 3 times a week, once every day? Take time to pull away from the world, to get quiet, and just clear your mind and hold that vibration of silence, stillness, and joy. Just be in that energy, because what it does is spreads that light out, right? Oh my God, you guys, I was saying, sorry to freak out, it probably sounds goofy. I didn't want you to hold that light anymore, right? I wanted it to come out because it was infectious, and I wanted it to be spread and to hit other people. That's what you guys are here to do. Whether that is spreading your spiritual truths, whether that's just holding space by being in a very uplifted, positive experience of your heaven on earth. Very curious. Okay, so let's take a look at, you guys, what we want to keep in our life, or propagate is kind of how I'm saying this. So just give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to tune into that energy. Okay, pile 2. So this is what we want to propagate. This is what we want to keep in our lives right now. So you guys definitely have a level of intimacy or sexual energy that is at a very good level, a very good place. There's definitely things that you're researching that you're very drawn to. Kind of sensual things is what I'm picking up on. So it feels like keep up this energy. Okay, for some of you, it's your libido is helping you remain self-confident. Some of you, it's your sex life is very healthy and it's a contributing factor. It's something that you're not avoiding, and that's why I sense you guys as being so evolved. Usually I get your energy coming through in pile 3 or 4. For some reason, there's definitely a collective in pile 2 that has an understanding of consciousness. It's more evolved because people really, in general, and I don't like to speak with blanket statements often, you guys, but sexuality and sexual energy has been perverted by religion. It has been perverted by religion, and people almost think of it as dirty. If you're not making a child, it's dirty or you're doing it wrong. If you're sleeping with more than one partner, it's dirty, you're doing it wrong. Absolutely not. For one, don't let me or any other individual tell you what sex should be like or what sexuality should be like or what your experience of sex and intimacy should be like. You are your own individual, so make that decision for yourself. But what I'm picking up on is that you have this understanding that I'm trying to relay. You recognize the importance of sex and working with Kundalini energy and how sex and even the orgasm are related to source energy and Kundalini. I'm just getting there is a wealth of health in your sector right now. You're experiencing a wealth of health and you're balancing a lot in your life. We just had the new moon in Libra, which is the house of balance. You're a very balanced individual. We want to keep that. We want to propagate this. We want more of this. We want your sexual energy. And I'm also hearing that some of you guys need to look up what sexual energy is because it has nothing to do with sex, like intercourse, and everything to do with the sacral chakra. So I want you guys, I don't know, just if you feel drawn to it, maybe perhaps research a little bit the sacral chakra because there's something to do with sex in your life that's really good right now. And sexual energy has to do with attraction. Okay, so, because it is so perverted, we don't look at things like sexual energy as being important, and yet it is the most important energy because you cannot remove yourself from sexual energy. You are either attracted or repulsed by everything. That's sexual energy. You like my aesthetic or you don't. You like the color purple or you don't. That is sexual energy. And that is also intuitiveness as well. I'm trying to illustrate something that's probably a little bit too far out and not really, necessary for this reading. So I'll pull it back a little bit. I just wanted to get that message out if you guys felt drawn to it. So more of keeping. We definitely want to keep your interest, your intensity, kind of like anything you've been researching that's mysterious, okay? I also did get that message, you guys, of craft, of a skill, of an ability. And I'm seeing inheritance, the underworld, mysteries, as well as craft here, okay? Skills, apprenticeship, daily ritual. We want to propagate that. We want more. We want to keep your ritual. So if you guys have been making space, that was an invitation for you guys to meditate, continue this. Continue learning. Continue your health and fitness journey. That's been something that you are shining at right now. That is your shining sector right now, is everything to do with your sex life, your intimacy, your libido, because it's feeding and helping you understand your power. It is essential. You guys are working out, you're working on the foods that you eat, you're coming into a newness. You guys are literally turning on to what you came here to be, but it's also you're recognizing the beauty of your soul. I keep trying to stay in the psychic headspace and I'm being pulled into the channeling headspace. I think that is a message in and of itself. You guys have the ability right now to develop a channel, a psychic channel, to take on a new spirit guide. Some of you are getting new spirit guides is what I'm hearing. Growing and propagating, keeping this relationship and just nurturing it. You guys have a very good routine right now. Continue to grow that routine. Continue to give that a lot of importance because it's what you're doing very well right now. Continue to do things that make you feel seductive, that make you fall in love with yourself, that make you affirm that you are exactly who you want to be in this incarnation. Let's just get, maybe a tarot card or two. King of Swords, yeah, definitely. And the Chariot. Confidence and go, right? Underneath your deck of, for these Astro cards, it's Mars, the card of action, just like that antelope. Okay, so with the Chariot coming out, what I feel like is we want to expand. And I know that message is redundant, but I just have to get that through. It's because you guys have done the work. You guys have prepared. You guys are ready. You guys are ready. You have your truth. And this King of Swords is very just, very balanced, very honest, very just. So these are all the messages that I'm getting for you guys. Continue to be in this energy. It's very supported. It's where you're shining right now. Okay, Pile 2, and I hope you liked these messages. If you did, Or if you've made it this far into the video, you can give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here and spending your time with me. And no matter where you are in the world, whether that's day or night, until next time, stay divine. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so let's take a look at this big balancing act that this reading is basically designed for, because, we just celebrated the Libra new moon, and in the time of the autumnal equinox, it feels like it's a great time to recognize what needs deadheading, what needs pruning, and preparing for this next major cycle. So I have to say, I'm really excited to do this reading because this is my personal totem, and yet I have not seen this card come out in over a year, and it actually could be more like 2 years since I have seen this card come out. Now, this is following in the position of what do you need to prune? What needs to be stopped? What needs to be cut away? And what I'm getting is a very powerful message. Eagle is the messenger of spirit, the largeness of self, the universe, the essence, love, light, energy, spirit, the spiritual body, the spiritual component to existing. And this eagle card, it talks about needing to experience the lows in life as well as the highs in order to gain a really good perspective. But it is also this measure of faith that is necessary in order for you to truly take flight in this lifetime. What I'm hearing actually just now is it's like what needs to be pruned. I feel like you feel like your wings are clipped. And I don't say this lightly, and I understand that this situation is going to look different for each one of us, but there's something that's keeping Pile 3 earthbound. And we need to let go of that ballast. I actually just saw a hot air balloon, and I saw you toss over this ballast, this sack of sand, and I'm seeing you cut it 1 and 2 and 3. You need some of this to take flight in order to remain buoyant in the air, and kind of like a keel operates in a sailboat, but you don't need all of it. There's definitely something in your energy field we need to cut away. I feel like it's the absence of faith, of spirit. There's something that you're looking at right now as if it's an impossible situation. You're looking at your current situation in life. This doesn't have to be overarching. This is definitely doctoring something, though. Especially because I can feel my throat chakra coming on board. What we need to cut away is the fact that you think that there's nothing here to co-create with, or the fact that you're feeling like you're doing everything by yourself. And I would just have to remind you, Spirit wants to remind you, literally Spirit wants to remind you that this incarnation is a co-creation. You don't have to do everything by yourself. Earth is a really hard place, not only to incarnate into, but to exist in. Earth is not an easy place to be at. And I feel like that's a truth that doesn't get said enough. And it's something I could certainly stand to remind myself of from time to time. And so I feel like you can draw upon your spirit guides at this time in your life, and they're certainly here to help you. This is a beautiful messenger. The eagle is so regal. I absolutely love this. It's very, very powerful. Something you need to cut away, something that needs to be pruned from your life right now, something you need to stop. It's like fear. We have to stop the fear. Fear is the lowest vibration. It doesn't exist. It's something that's taught. Fear is out of harmony. It is not a law of the universe. Fear is something that is taught and is imposed upon by self-limiting beliefs by your parents, by the universe, by their parents. Not the universe, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say like the government. Of the universe of being on Earth is how I should have said that. Fear is not natural. It is not natural. It's not part of the universe. It's not a part of the law of the universe. This idea of fear comes from an idea or the lack of faith, the lack of an understanding of the spiritual essence. It feels like the absence of spirituality is something that needs to be pruned away. This idea of thinking you're by yourself, cut it away, it's not helping you. The purpose of this reading is to put you in your power. is to give you all the tools you need to become self-aware so that you can step into your authentic power in this lifetime, so that you can aid other people in doing so as well, so that we can raise the vibration of this planet, and so that we can leave this plane eventually and not have to keep coming back here to help other people. So something we have to, this idea, it's interesting, right? We have to prune our clipped wings, which means we need to feed ourselves spiritual concepts and beliefs, new books. Okay, I'm hearing that you might really like the book In the Beginning by Robert Frey and Norma Young. I'll try to remember to put that in the comments, but you can find that book just based off that information right there. 1. Eagle, a new beginning. Okay, it feels like some of us are perhaps making too many new beginnings, and so that none of them take flight, none of them get off the ground, because the moment something negative happens, we leave it behind, thinking that's trying to guide us. It's not that way at all. Remember, the eagle can only take flight, we can only utilize the energy of eagle, spirit in and of itself, by experiencing the highs as well as the lows. We need that perspective, in addition to developing trust and faith in the universe. In order for you to be fully in control in this lifetime, control nothing to do with ego, nothing to do with a negative connotation associated with control of your mind. Self-awareness is what I'm talking about here. We need to get away from this idea that you're here to do everything all by yourself. This is not saying don't do anything and let magic be everything that you do in this lifetime. That's not at all what I'm saying. But we have to have this opening up of acceptance that you're not alone, that you have subtle helpers in the realms. Sorry. You have helpers in the subtle realms is what I meant to say. We have to cut away fear. Fear is something that can keep us earthbound and trapped through limitations. I have to bring this up over and over and over again. It's a very profound message. Fear is not a natural part of the universe. The universe is always in divine harmony and order. Fear is repulsing the truth of some reality. The universe never repulses anything because it is in balance. Otherwise, there would be chaos. Otherwise, planets couldn't remain in orbit. Otherwise, temperatures couldn't be, reliable, standard. You couldn't stand to rely on the weather or anything, the air quality, the number of oxygen molecules in the atmosphere. There is divine order in the universe. It is a law of the universe. And so fear is not a part of that equation. It is a byproduct of our limited minds. We need to cut away some sort of ignorance, and I don't mean to insult you. That is never something to insult you. That is a product of what humans have done to the word ignorance. Ignorance literally means not knowing. It is the absence of information. And what I feel like we need to cut away is the darkness, is the fear, and we need to bring forward some recognition of spirit. This could be communicating with a spirit guide, doing a meditation to connect you with a spirit guide, something along these lines. This is a very, very, very interesting message. I kind of want to, it feels like I got all of that out. Oh no, my gloriously beautiful set. If you guys like this new set design, leave a comment below. So I didn't do this with his other readings. I kind of just want to, two. What? That's so weird, you guys. You just saw me shuffle. I just reached in here and grabbed 2 cards. The exact 2 cards that came out in the pile before you. I will just say that. For whatever that's worth. But it's interesting. I feel like this is you trying to take flight. And look at you now in the air, right? And it feels like the highs and the lows. The Fool is the ultimate beginner, so ground 0. The highs as well. We're on top of a mountain right here. And then we have ourselves here, the essence of spirit. What's so remarkable, it's so synchronistic. It feels like, I'm actually going to drop that thought. That was something just for myself. Anyways, what I drew upon in the last reading is the fact that I feel like there is some sort of color typo in this deck because all these clouds are gray, except this one that has the eagle in it, spirit, and it's white. It's pure. It's in the upper right-hand corner, which is exactly where this sunlight is. sunlight, to cast away any darkness, any fear, any limitation. The Fool is fearless, right? So it feels like there's something that's keeping us earthbound, something keeping us from taking flight. And it feels like it is just our limitation of our perspective of everything we have in our scenario right now. It feels like you're in the energy of some impossible situation, but it is not impossible. I feel like we're closing ourselves off from certain opportunities or options. We need to open ourselves to the world, to doing things a little bit differently in order to get off the ground, in order to be able to make a progress in some circle of our life. Some sector of our life. This is what needs to be cut away: fear. You gotta really dig deep here, you guys. And I'm not saying that this is easy work, but I am saying it's possible. And I'm saying once you start this beginning, you will reach that point where you are fearless. This isn't recklessness. That's not at all what I'm talking about. We want to remove fear from the situation. It does not belong in your body. Some of these messages are channeled. I try to stay in the psychic headspace, but sometimes, these are channeled messages, you guys. These are very, very profound messages. We have to be able to cut away this fear, this self-limiting belief. And I'm hearing a very good way, it's not the way for all of you, a very good way is to eliminate the word how from your vocabulary. How only utilizes specific knowledge and experiences that you've experienced firsthand. It doesn't draw upon the wealth, of the Akashic record, of the world, of everyone else's experiences. I'm also hearing you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you're trying to start something, get something off the ground, there's something that's stopping you. For some of you, it's thinking that you have to be super unique and that, your voice isn't worthy. No. No one has had the exact same set of experiences as you have had. You are the only person in the universe who has experienced life through your eyes. I'm hearing you have eagle eyes. You have incredible perceptive eyes. There's something about your vision and the vision for your future. If it is a desire of yours, Pile 3, to experience that future that you've envisioned for yourself, that is your higher self guiding you towards experiencing it. We want to cut away fear. And I'm going to leave this message here because I can't make you guys learn this. It's something you have to experience firsthand. But you absolutely can take steps in order to move away from fear. When it crops up in your mind, you can say, I'm safe right now. Maybe that's a mantra for you guys. Maybe that's a personal affirmation, and maybe you say this 21 times a day. I am safe. Because you're going to rewire your mind, and you have that capacity. You have that capacity in this lifetime. You can rewire your mind and reprogram it to stop activating your cortisol response, your flight or fight response. You can stop all of that with your mind. Okay? So let's move on. I'm going to see what we want to grow, what we want to plant. Pile 3, you are planting a dream for the future. The lizard is a dreamer. I just asked, what is Pile 3 planting? I want to know what you guys are planting. What are you growing? Where would it be most successful? And as I'm saying successful, I'm seeing the number 9, which is the number success. 3 and 6 is 9. There's an emphasis on creating harmony as well. And that's going to bring about the future that you desire. 3 is the number of creation. 6 is the number of harmony. And these are my own personal, there we go. Sorry, interpretations, right? Like, for example, 4 is stability. Okay. And for some of you, 1 is new beginning. 5 is change. New change is going to uprooting something is going to create the stability that you desire. But let me not get ahead of myself right now. So, okay, the lizard, what are we dreaming into being? That's so curious, you guys. You guys are dreaming your future into being. I just went down that road about, what are we pruning away? And it fleshed out this concept that you guys really have a dream for yourself. And it's like you're afraid to, I'm sorry, I literally just said you have a dream for yourself and out flew the high priestess, but I got to grab it. It's on the floor. Okay. I am definitely getting ahead of myself. Right, 3 and 6 is 9. We are creating success by creating harmony. And so there are measures in your life that need to be brought back into a more harmonious place. We just celebrated the Libra new moon. And so the new moon is a time of creation. And the new moon under Libra talks about balance. That's what the sign of Libra is all about, balance and harmony. And so it feels like creating harmony in your life, growing, planting, change, harmony, your schedule, your routine. We're shifting up energies in your life to bring them into a more harmonious balance and measure with each other so that they can feed and nurture each other. And I'm hearing cross-pollinate. This is the energy of making sure that you're exercising to your own ability. You don't have to be a fitness instructor. You don't have to be, a fitness model, anything like that. Exercise is massively important. So is the food that you put in your body. So is having enough sleep. So is having enough water. So is having enough fun and passion and sex and intimacy. And also time alone and quiet time. But also hard work is a measure. So many things. And I could keep going. So many things that need to be juggled in our lives, creating a balance between all the different factors of your life, all the different sectors in your life. Balancing those is going to set the foundation for the future that you desire for yourself, for the future that you're dreaming into being. All of the dreams that you have for yourself, pile 3, they are all possible. You have them for a reason. Your soul wishes to experience them. You won't dream about things you don't want to experience unless that is a disconnected thought. I think that's the message that's coming through as well. Some of you are having disconnected thoughts. That's anxiety. Fear and anxiety is what we are pruning away. That is the big message for pile 3 because you guys are primed right now to up level. You would not get the most incredible blessing of having the Eagle card come out for you if you were not ready for this. Right now, pile 3, what are you afraid of? What comes up often in your mind? And that just sets your mind racing. For 1, identify what that is. But 2, make an action plan in that moment to set your mind straight, to correct it, if you will. And say, no. I am safe right now. There is no one breaking into my home right now. My car does not have flat tires. They are healthy and safe. I just rotated them. There is no fear about the car. I have plenty of money in my bank account. There is nothing taking my money out of my bank account right now. I love my job. I have security in my job. There is no one actively in this moment, right now, seeking to upseat me, to remove me from my position. There is no one going to replace me in this exact moment. And it is in the exact moment that you have to make that action plan. Okay, I know that we're kind of dragging this message out, but it's very pivotal and it feels like because you guys are ready to level up in your life. I'd love to see this, you guys. 2 major arcana cards. This is faded energy moving through. There's something in your dreams. Your dreams are definitely showing you something at this time in your life. I would record them because we have the card of dreaming and we have the High Priestess. I think some of you are dreaming into being what you're supposed to build as your empire. What are we growing? Our dreams, our psychic ability, and our empire. Some of you want to be professional psychics. Some of you want to be psychic advisors. Some of you want to do energy healing. Some of you really want to develop the ability to astral travel. You can do all of these things. Seriously, you absolutely can. If you can dream it into being, if you have that genuine desire to pursue that, that's meant for you in this lifetime. It is meant for you. What do we need to grow? You guys, I cannot make that up, and I just got double shivers because 4 and 2 is 6, which is harmony. And my voice just cracked. You have music and harmony. Is that not ridiculous? I cannot make this up. That is crazy, you guys. I literally was like, I never really dissect these numbers because, everyone has a different interpretation. But I was literally going off about like, okay, 3, creation, 6, harmony. Got to create harmony because that leads to success in your life. We literally have harmony come out for you guys. This is a blessing. This reading is remarkable. I knew I was excited for this reading for some reason. Okay, so harmony, yeah. So for some of you, music is a future that you want to dream into being. Writing, composing, creative writing, something along these lines. I'm also hearing be careful of the music you listen to, okay? If you're someone who likes to repeat playlists, because that can keep you stuck in a self-limiting belief, right? We want to break out of this circle, break out of this energy of fear, and cut that away forever. We don't need that. It is not necessary in this lifetime. There are no grizzly bears attacking you, okay? This overactive self-preservation is something that we need to prune away. And something we need to grow is harmony. I love this so much for you guys, pile 3. All right, so I want to now look at what we want to propagate or keep. I want to know what you're doing exactly right. Okay, pile 3, so this is what we want to propagate, which is take what already naturally exists and make more of it. Or this is what we want to keep, because this is what you're doing exactly right. Okay, and I love to see this. This is the energy of creation, okay? It also feels like, by creation, I feel like artistic in nature, okay? There's definitely something that you guys are doing that is more in alignment than you've ever done before, is what I'm hearing. I also am seeing that you are a product of your environment, and so it feels like you're doing an incredible job of making sure that you're surrounded by the right people, but also that your environment reflects your aesthetic. You're a product of your environment, which means that you can be brought down by where you spend the most of your time, or you can be brought up and uplifted by the time or in the environment that you spend the most of your time in. So it's really crucial and essential, and this is what you've been doing very well. We need to keep doing this. You've been keeping your space clean and clear, and as a result, you're getting psychic downloads, visions, in communication just with your higher self as well. You're having a clean space, which means that your mind is clear. And this is going to set the foundation to cut away that aspect of fear and anxiety that we keep, that I was seeing in the very beginning of your reading. So whatever you're doing with your home environment, whatever you're doing as far as art practices, maybe you guys are trying something new, painting, ceramics, creative writing, channeling, whatever you're doing that's, is an act of creation, keep doing that. That is guiding you towards the future you wish to experience. I also think that word expire is me. I am tiring. This is my third one. They've all been a little bit long today. But what I do see as far as, what else is very good for you is just this, I'm seeing you in balance right now. The work that you're doing is supporting the work that you wish to be doing, which means that you're in harmony, which is, if you are already growing what we were looking at, that means that you are in flow, in divine flow. And that is why the eagle showed up for you guys. I think you're about to emerge from the cave. There's something I think that you could release. This could be a song for some of you. This is a way of thinking. This is a tarot channel for other of you. It's something radical, something that's not common in society is what you're about to release. This could be kind of channeling. Again, this could be esoteric in nature, but it also could just be a vision you have for the future because you are dreaming a new future into being. We want to keep up this kind of more like quirky energy. This energy of not getting bogged down. I want to see you guys be buoyant. There's something you're releasing. Something's coming to the surface, and I feel like it's you guys. I think you've been in this energy of a deep dive, this energy of a hermit mode perhaps, have really pulled away from the world, but it was to get in touch with the energies of the world, with plant energies, with the energies of your spirit guide, with the energies of astral bodies. I'm hearing that some of you would do very well to study astrology, okay? Now I'm seeing the dragonflies as well, which are messengers of the spirit world, and you're breaking through an illusion, right? I see you guys are doing very well to monitor your mind. I see that your mind is flowering right now. We want to keep this up. This is what you're doing very, very well. Something to do with diversity as well. I'm seeing synergy as like all of these different plant spirits and all of these different plants that I'm seeing here. There's something to do with you and bringing in new stimuli that is very good for you. It's very nurturing to the mind right now. This is everything that you're doing well that I can see. You're also spending a lot more time in nature, but especially a lot of time creating something. If you are making a work of art, if you are, collecting photographs of your family members in order to just have a better collection of family history, if you are taking classes, this doesn't even have to be at the college level, like art classes, or just, fun little trips to an art gallery with your friend, exposing yourself to new things, new ideas. We want to keep this up. Can we just go perhaps a little bit further? Yeah, we're leaving behind the cave and emerging, right? Because I see you guys really close to the mouth of this cave right here, which tells me that you've kind of, you're not all the way deep down in the dark anymore, right? And it is your mind, all right? There's a dawn that I'm picking up on. This kind of reminds me of like the dawn of time. There's definitely dawn emerging on this tarot card here at 10, the end of a cycle, leaving you on an up. Let's get one more. Another emphasis on the mind, you guys. Freeing yourself, right? There's definitely this message. I know we're talking about what we need to keep, what you're doing very well. You guys are removing that fear that I saw with the Eagle card. That self-limiting belief, the self-doubt, the negative self-talk. All of these concepts of being trapped, that impossible situation, it's a figment of your imagination. It is not the reality of a situation. And I don't mean to say that I think I know your exact situation, but I am telling you there's always a solution. There is always a solution. Sometimes we need to call upon our spirit guides and gain a broader perspective as well. One last card. Okay, yeah. Definitely leaving some darker period behind. It also has to do with your self-worth. You are emerging, right? Look at this figure right here. She looks like a sprite or a nymph. Her skin is absolutely perfect. She looks seductive. She's prime, in the prime of her health, at whatever age she seems to be at. That's you guys. I see you haven't gone through a really long struggle. Definitely a struggle of some sort, okay? This could be mental, emotional, spiritual, or with your body. We're leaving that behind, right? And you're emerging. There's definitely a lot of self-work and self-reflection that you guys have been doing. We want to keep this up. It's really important to keep this up, but it's also something that your guides are very proud of, and they've been watching this. They've been recognizing the effort that you really are putting in to get in touch with yourself and your innermost feelings, to sort out the light from the dark. Okay, you guys, well, I think that these are all of your messages, and I really enjoyed your reading. If you did, or if you've made it this far into the video, you can give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and no matter where you are in the world, whether that's day or night, until next time, stay divine. Hey, Pile 4, welcome to your reading. I hope you guys are doing so very well today. So let's take a look at, this big balancing act, which is what I feel like this reading essentially is, What do we need to grow, prune, or keep? Now, let's start first with prune. So this is going to be the energy or whatever in our life we need to cut away. We need to stop is another way of looking at this. Now, what I'm picking up on, you guys, is that we need to recapture our innocence. And so we need to cut away any overly serious energy, right? I think a good message for you guys to start off is that you should take your work seriously, but you should not take life seriously. Now, we hear that, and it is a cliche, and I'm not a fan of cliches. So what does that mean? To not take life so seriously. I actually had an epiphany over the weekend about this, and it is because life is so freaking complex. Every individual person is complex, and those are just people, not to mention associations and buildings, birds, laws, physics. I'm picking such lame examples right now, but life is so complex. We're never going to achieve any measurable understanding of the universe at large in this existence and in this incarnation. And so we shouldn't take things super seriously. We're not here forever. We're just on this plane for however long we have to live, and then we're going to move on. to an even better lifetime, or to whatever you believe in. Okay, I definitely believe that we leave behind and discard any negative energy here and move forward, because Earth is not an easy place to be in, and that's why it can really get us down, and it can make us be super serious. Like, I'm even hearing you guys who are spiritually too serious, like thinking that you have to wake everyone. And that is kind of like on your shoulders. You're wearing the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I just have to tell you that if you're someone who works spiritually, it's not your job to save everyone. The only thing you can do is to keep your vessel pure, clean, and balanced in harmony so that you can help the people who want to be helped, right? You can only be useful if you yourself have your cup, your glass filled. If you're calm, collected, you can be useful to the people who want to be useful, who want to hear your messages. And so that is telling me that you guys could be a little less serious, to kind of just be a little bit more playful. I'm hearing play. A little room for play in your life would be a good thing. We need to cut away anything that makes us too serious. Anything that I'm just hearing, anything that you're using the words supposed to or have to. If you have to do something, I would challenge you to change your perception of that. You might very well need to pay bills, but the way you pay those bills, how much your bills are, that's something you have the ability to change. And if not that, then you have your perception of that to change. It's not, you shouldn't curse having to pay for water. You know, you need water to live. So your perception of that bill should change. I'm not saying that this is you guys, but that is an important energy that I'm trying to illustrate. So the perception of something that you feel like is you're supposed to do this, you have to do this, that is not an energy that is playful or innocent. That is an energy that has kind of been, trodden on, a little bit buried in this 3D earth realm, which is, again, not the easiest place to be, you guys. Not the funnest place to be either. There's definitely an energy of playfulness, lightheartedness, kind of like, let's boost the energy. Like, you know what I'm going to do for you guys? I'm going to go off track. I'm going to draw some tiny messages for you guys. I don't know what this is going to be about. It might not have to do with this lens either, but we basically we got over it. We got we got the idea of what needs to be pruned. All of our intense energy behind seriousness. Anything that you're doing so super seriously, you're not having fun. And you're right, life's not all about having fun, but it is a choice whether or not you struggle or you experience a test easily. Because that's how complex it is. A test coming in and you're struggling with it. So many people in the spiritual community say, you got to struggle a little bit. That's literally not what I believe at all. If you resist the test, you're going to struggle. So if you're recognizing that there's a test going on, you could fight it. The spiritual test, whatever this has to do with, you could fight it and you're going to experience struggle. Or you could roll with the punches. You could laugh a little bit. You could recognize that you could change your perception about that. And then that test gets aced like that. Then there's no struggle, or at least it's not drawn out. And so there is an idea of rolling with this with a lot more joy. It is your entire perception. Okay, so let's just throw on some tiny messages. I'm going to pick you guys. Oh, that's quite a few. That's okay. We're going to just see them all. Infinity. Yeah, I love to see that, you guys. Go. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing energetically. Status quo, put in the hours, stay on track. That's kind of like too serious, right? Mix it up. Build it. These are newer energies, right? I'm hearing if you can't find your niche, you're meant to be that niche. You're meant to build that niche. If we could be talking about work, we could talk about relationships. We could talk about what a relationship is, partnership, open relationship. If you're not experiencing something that you want to experience, life is infinite. It is infinite. The dragonfly is a messenger from spirit directly. And so your spirit guides are here in this reading right now, reminding you of infinity, reminding you of the fact that you have access to so much more than any other incarnation has had before this time. But also you have access to intelligent infinity, which is sunlight, which is truth, which is love. Okay, and your guides are saying, if you are in this energy of just being sullen, just seriousness. I'm not necessarily getting low energy. I'm just getting too much seriousness. And it comes back to that very first message. This is what we need to prune away. Thinking that we need to be doing everything. It's not that. And I know that some people are not going to relate to this idea of needing to have fun and needing to just experience the most abundant life. That's truly where I'm coming from, though. So that's the message that I have for you guys, is that if you're kind of thinking that, it's got to be hard or it's not worth it, that's a perception. I'm not trying to be flippant. It's just there's definitely an energy of being in a rut or being way too serious. And this rut that I'm seeing is not necessarily the usual connotation of rut. I'm just saying you've been on this beaten track for so long that you don't know anything else. And so we got to bring in newness, right? A dose of sunshine. Lots to do with getting outside, right? Go and guess who. I'm getting an idea of a relationship for some reason, right? But also guess who says surprise. So it's also saying take yourself on a surprise adventure. Take yourself somewhere new. We've got to bring newness into the situation. Some new energy that we can transmute something that is so serious into something a little bit more playful. Alrighty. So let's move on. I'm going to take a look at what we need to grow. Okay, you guys, so the first message that I'm hearing is design your work-life balance. This is what we need to grow, and you have the card of literally growing and nurturing energy. I feel like we've been waiting for the universe to make a move, or we're treating ourselves as if we can't budge. We don't have wiggle room because we have to lead a righteous life for some reason that's coming through. But I want to remind you that your experience of heaven and hell in this lifetime, in this present moment, is different than every other single person alive ever. What you consider hell is different than my version of hell. What you consider heaven is different from anyone else's version of heaven. So there's no one way in order to do something or to experience something, right? So make sure that your experience fits all of your needs, all of your desires, what brings you the most joy and happiness and balance and tranquility and peace of mind. That's going to look different for you. And if it looks different than anyone in your family, even better, because you're aware of that. What I'm picking up on is that we need to grow our finances and our career and to nurture our health and body. All of these things, okay? I see us on a little bit of a fitness journey for some of you. Some of you are being invited to make a garden. To make time to garden is actually what I'm hearing. Some of you have really beautiful gardens. If you have a beautiful garden, I would love to hear about it. Leave a comment below. My garden is a little sad at this time of year. It's just been zapped by so much sun. So yeah, make sure that you're getting a dose of sunshine too, but everything in balance, right? We just celebrated a Libra new moon, so I'm very curious to see this justice card come out here. And it feels like what we need to balance, what we need to grow, is our relationship to work and our relationship to outside of work. What I love about this Queen of Pentacles, unlike the King of Pentacles has a better grasp on the pentacle, okay? The talent, the work, finances. A little bit better grasp on this Queen of Pentacles. However, in my opinion, she supersedes him because she has an equal balance between her work life and her love life, her family life, her play life. She has an equal of measure of both, so she is more balanced, which means that she is a better creator on earth. As you can see, this card has roses, the vibration of love, framing this card much like the Magician. So she is a master manifester, and she works very hard. However, she has an equal measure of play. I think this is very synchronistic, actually, for you guys. And so what we need to do is design a work-life balance. Long ago, when I was still a professional photographer, I hated those hours. When I was a professional photographer, I was also a vet assistant. I was also a receptionist. And I also, had a very active social life, and I worked out all the time, and I make my own food forever and always. I don't like to eat out because I don't like... That's a different story. I'm a much better cook than Anyways, you guys, but that's exactly what I'm getting. We want you to cook your own food. We want to watch the food that you put in your body. We want to grow the relationship between the food you intake and grow, the water that you drink, your relationship to food, your relationship to health, the relationship between exercise, nurturing the body. You know, I did make that comment, I think it was you guys, about how important it is to exercise and balance and juggle everything going on in your life. This queen is the epitome of that balancing act. I love to see it underscored by this justice card, which to me says, life's not going to happen to you. You got to make the moves yourself. The universe will grease the wheels once you first make that effort. So what I'm seeing is you guys first designing in your mind the kind of lifestyle you envision. For example, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I hated that. It was soul-sucking. I literally used the word soul-sucking and not lightly. I would leave those shifts and I would just be dead. I would not be able to do anything until I went home, smoked some weed, ate food, went to bed, passed out, woke up, and do it all over again. I didn't have access to myself until I woke up in the morning and took a shower and had my first cup of coffee. That's not normal, and that's not what I envision for the future. I envision a lot more freedom, and this is what I envision for you guys as well. A heck of a lot more freedom. The ability to design your own schedule, to not answer to any individual, or at least having a different perception about what you do for work and how that enriches you too. We want to grow enrichment. We want you to feel abundant. We want you to have an incredible balance between the time you put into your work, because remember, take your work seriously, but have an equal measure of fun, right? Where you allow yourself to have time with your family, to go on adventures, to take yourself on new adventures and new places. For some of you, we want to grow your level of mastery for a specific talent. This is a specific message coming through. Okay. And I think some organization would be useful. But look at her. She's in her hand, or in their hand, there is all this rye. What is this power? Yeah, look at the two pillars right there. And this justice figure, very similar to me. It's said to be a woman. Not that that matters. Gender is irrelevant with tarot. Okay, however the identity is. Anyways, my God. That's literally one of the most annoying things about being alive right now. We're eventually going to leave this period where we have to correct ourselves, and I need to drop that thought. I don't want to offend anyone. So what I see, though, is all of these animals here, a farm. And I see her holding in her hand rye or wheat, which symbolizes fertility or abundance, okay? I'm getting an emphasis on abundance. It's also reminding me of the Empress. That's, I think, why I said fertility. I don't know what rye has to do with fertility, but there is an emphasis here on abundance, okay? I like to see this. And so what is that talent of ours? I think you have a talent for gardening, okay? I think that some of you have the ability to work with plant medicines as well. I'm also hearing that you have the power, or you have a talent for cooking, okay? For cooking, I'm hearing that you guys are taste makers as well. This Queen of Pentacles, a talent, you know, the epitome in her field, very, very well off, but also established in the home as well. So you guys could be incredible homemakers. Interior designers is what's coming through. You guys could be talented in feng shui. I think that you guys also have an ability to create beautiful things to enrich your environment, whether that's new pillows for the couch. These are all things that we want to grow. If your environment right now is not enriching you, we want you to shake things up, get a little bit of organized, okay, a little bit of organization going on. I love to see this, though. Okay. Very, very cool. So this is what I'm picking up on as far as what we want to grow. Now I want to look at what we want to propagate, okay? So take what already exists and make more of it, or just in general keep, or even more general, we're going to look at what you're doing right now that is exactly right, that is exactly in balance. Okay, you guys, so this is what you guys are doing very well. This is what we want to keep. Now, what I see is that there's an opening in the throat chakra. I'm checking out all this water that's flowing. So, emotions, communication with the throat chakra, these little blue eggs by the throat. So, it feels like, especially with invocation, so there is some sort of ceremony going on, and there's an invocation. So, you usually have to utter something, some words. So, the way that you communicate right now, you're in flow with your inner truth, your most authentic truth. So you're able to speak into existence what you wish to experience. You're in tune with the way that you talk to others. It's nurturing. It brings about creation. In that sense, I'm seeing that it's inspiring people. Your words right now, I'm hearing that it's okay, so it's that kind of a clunky metaphor. It's like what you touch turns to gold. You have like a silver tongue is what's coming through. This is something that you're doing very well. So you're probably exposing yourself to new books, new TV shows, new people. The conversations you're having with other people are very nourishing. They're nourishing to you and the other person. I bet that you guys are light workers, and I bet that your perspective of the world is super useful at this time. Let's get a couple of tarot cards. I knew it. I knew it, you guys. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups, a little bit psychic going on right here, right? And she, to me, is blue, you know, the throat chakra. She has a especially valuable chalice, okay? And so with this waterfall, you know, going on right here, it to me is talking about the throat chakra again. So I think that what you're doing well right now, what you need to keep is communication or creative writing or writing down your dreams. Doing so is going to connect you with your emotional body. That way, I'm seeing this as an aura right here, you can channel better. Because I do get a little bit of witchcraft, magic, the occult with this energy right here, as well as our most psychic queen, which is the Queen of Cups. And so what I'm picking up on is that your throat chakra is illuminating. It's becoming imbalanced, and we want to continue that because you're moving up through the chakras is how I'm picturing this. It's how I'm seeing this. And so anything to do with creative writing, anything to do with self-expression, that is being honored right now. The way that you are talking to other people and not sabotaging yourself, not belittling yourself to fit into that conversation. I'm hearing that you're able to recognize if the person you're in conversation with is able to hold that concept, hold a conversation about the concept or the perspective that you come from, and you're not lowering yourself to their standards, you're not sacrificing your own authentic truth. This is remarkable, actually. So waterfall with effortless and the Hierophant. Okay, so it feels like you guys have a really good connection with spirit. In your life in general is actually what I'm hearing. But right now, the Hierophant, it talks about the path. And upright, it really talks about take the beaten path, right? So take that as it resonates. But what I feel like, you're open to taking a path that resonates with you. You're open to designing a life that feels more effortless, that feels more like ease is how this is coming through. I see you just literally like getting into the flow of life because you finally realized that you need to do it in a way that serves you, not someone else, not the status quo. You're figuring out what you need in order to be fulfilled, in order to be balanced. You're in this energy right now where you're calling the shots is how this is coming through. I'm seeing you say, that's what I want, that's not what I want. I need more of this, I need less of that. And the more that you vocalize this, the more that you come in harmony with your emotions. And when you're in touch with your emotional body, you bring your heart and your mind in combination. That's kind of like what this energy is talking about too. That's when you kind of step up into that power, right? There was this card of power that came out here too. And for here, I'm seeing this beautiful individual right here with this structure. It's really oppressive on top of her. And it's like structure itself. Look at these two pillars. It could be a Hierophant's head right there. It looks very similar to me. And it's like structure itself is weighing you down and preventing you from being able to rise up. It's like Sleeping Beauty right here. And so I see you right now opening up to what you want to experience, and again, what you don't, identifying what is going to be in harmony with you, what's going to create the most amount of ease, peace, and tranquility, and satisfy your desires. Let's get one more tarot card. Invocation, yeah. Okay, so if you guys are developing a practice of witchcraft, keep doing this. I think that you're just building, in general, a connection with spirit that's supposed to, it's something that you share eventually, I will say. And I would not be surprised if you're sharing your connection with spirit with others right now. If you're thinking about building a YouTube channel, if you're thinking about doing a Patreon, if you're thinking about doing a podcast or holding a class to teach other people how to read tarot cards, it's not all of these specific things, but is the energy of that. I see you building patience with some of you are learning witchcraft or manifestation and you're like, why is this not happening? Like, what is going on? You're developing patience, and the patience you have is going to be rewarded with more patience. And trust me, that sounds really trite, but that's not the case. The reward of patience is patience, because you get to be more comfortable with being patient. And, patience opens up trust and faith. And those are incredible energies to work with. What I'm also seeing is that you have an understanding that slow and steady progress is the very best. It's much better than the final destination, the journeying point. There's a lot more value in the day-to-day. So your understanding of where you put in work and that balance, and the fact that things take time to grow, these are all things you're doing a very, very good job about. Okay, so that's basically what I'm seeing. But you guys, you do have a very spherical, oh my god, you can tell that I'm very tired. I do want to draw one more card, you guys. I might have to go back to just 3 piles. 4 is a little much. Okay. But I also, I just got over being a little ill, under the weather is what I'm going to call that, last week. Okay, so I do sense a little bit of a spiritual path. And so what I kind of want to do is just draw a few final cards. This is for my pile 4. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. Irma. Where are you being called to journey to? Yeah. Priestess. That's interesting. How are you being called to step up and lead? Absolutely. Okay. So what I'm picking up on is the energy of the High Priestess, the energy of the Hierophant. I'm talking to someone who's spiritual in nature now, and I'm recognizing that you're in a place of your life where you can design what's next. I think that you have experience with spirituality, whether that's with Reiki, healing, with channeling, anything under the sun. You guys have a experience with something spiritual in nature, and right now we kind of want to flesh that out. We want to communicate that with other people. What else am I seeing? This idea of where you're being called to journey to, I think that's rather synchronistic as well. I think that there are places you want to see, and you're in this moment in your life where you're recognizing that if you just keep, doing things on the beaten path, that you might not be able to achieve everything you've desired. And you're in this period where you're waking up to the understanding that, okay, it took me a little bit of time to get to that realization, but now that I know that that's where I was operating from, I need to shift that. I need to do a 180 and to step back into my power. How are you being called to step up? I think this is not necessarily in an outer sense. For some of you, it absolutely is. For others of you, it's stepping up into your power and to remember that you have access to intelligent infinity, that you have access to be able to come up with solutions, so long that you are in the vibration where you can receive inspiration, where you can hear your spirit guides, where you can channel the answers. I also sense a little bit of like a spiritual retreat for some of you, but that's kind of a very specific message. And you guys, that's it. I am totally maxed out. That's the end of your reading, and thank you so much for being here and spending your time with me. If you really liked your reading, or if you've made it this far into the video, you can give me a big thumbs up. Thank you. It helps my channel grow. It really does. Every like counts. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, wherever you are in the world, day or night, stay divine.